is to raise awareness and show what it really is like to live with a bowel disease. So hopefully there is more understanding of it. I'm currently not diagnosed, however I've been told by 2 professionals pretty much that it is very likely to be ulcerative colitis. I want to make this clear, so it's not that I'm faking any illness, but it's what I'm in the process of being diagnosed of. If I'm referring to myself as having ulcerative colitis, it's because I have been told that it's very likely to be. It is easier for me to try and deal with the symptoms, having a name put on what I've been feeling. Let's get on with the video. On the 5th of February 2019, my mum and dad took me to A&E with excruciating, and I mean the worst pain I've ever felt in my abdomen. That's like my ribs and around where my colon is. 2 weeks before this, I had a week worth of diarrhoea, which then stopped and led me to be pretty much constipated for a week, which I didn't realise was linked, but now looking back on it, it probably is. They discharged me that same day from the hospital after doing two sets of blood tests. They discharged me with a virus, and I spent the next 2 weeks bedbound, not eating, in agony. I lost 2 stone in that process. Sorry if I look down at all, it's because I've got notes to make sure I get everything right. But because it was a virus, I got back to normal naturally, and then a few weeks passed and I was normal again. Then on the 8th of March, I went to a uni convention with my friends, with our school, and had a KFC. I never had takeaways, and this was my first takeaway in a good few, probably a couple months. This triggered diarrhoea, and in that diarrhoea there was blood. Quite a lot of blood. It was very scary because obviously when people have blood in their diarrhoea, you automatically think cancer. And there was also, this is going to be very TMI, but I need it to be as real as possible. There was also mucus-like substance. Again, I didn't even know what colitis was back then, so I didn't really think anything of it. So this was on the Friday. Then on the following Monday, we went to my doctor's, and he said because of the virus I had before and the results from the tests weren't right, that I had to do a stool sample and a blood test, which I then handed in that Tuesday. The following Tuesday we got the results, and he told me it was likely to be colitis from the levels of, I think it's proteins. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the terms. He then said that I would need to see a gastroenterologist, and in 6 weeks' time I would have an appointment. You've heard me refer to colitis, I just want to explain a little bit about that. It's a long-term inflammatory bowel disease. It's like an autoimmune disease as well, so it doesn't just affect your bowel. It's a condition where the colon and rectum become inflamed, and small ulcers develop on the colon's lining and can bleed and pus, which if I do have colitis, which I pretty much do, that would explain the bleeding and the pus in my diarrhoea. It's very similar to Crohn's. So some of the symptoms I experience is that you have bloody and pussy diarrhoea. It's gonna sound so gross. So you have blood, I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet, oh my god. So you have bloody and pussy diarrhoea, abdominal pain, especially if you're passing blood. It really hurts your stomach, which I never even questioned when I heard people pooing blood. There's an urgency to poo, so you don't really have much control. So you need to ensure there's a toilet around. There's also, it's like you need to poo, but you can't. I explain it to people who don't have it, like when you've been sick a lot, your body still wants you to be sick, but there's nothing to throw up. So you're still gagging and you still have that urge, but nothing's coming up. That's what it's like, but down the other end. Farts stink. Oh my god, like, my farts never really smelled before. It literally smells like cabbage, like pure boiled disgust. It's disgusting. Like, I've made myself gag many of times. So if you're like, if you go to school with me and you think, oh, like I've smelled a bad fart, trust me, it's worse than that. It's like, it has a distinct smell that isn't like anything you smelled before. The next ones are fatigue. There's a difference between tiredness and fatigue, which I don't think I really understood until now. Fatigue is where you literally cannot control, like, you just need to sleep. And you might not even like be able to sleep, but you physically can't move, you can't get up. It's just a level of exhaustion I've never experienced. Also get joint pain, so if it is colitis, I'm likely to get arthritis when I'm older. Just because already, if I'm sat down in a position too long, I need to move. Like at work, if I'm stood up for too long, my back hurts. So then in this period of time, from now to when I say I've got the appointment, I've been waiting for the appointment. And on the 12th of April, I had my sister-in-law's hen do. And that's where I take the video to now. And I've got some clips that just shows what I was experiencing in that moment. I guess this is part of it, so I should film this, but it's my sister-in-law's hen weekend. And I get very anxious and stressed. I've got anxiety as it is. So I get very anxious and stressed when I travel. And my tummy is in agony. I can't, like, I'm on the toilet more. It hurts so much. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And it's like, how am I actually meant to enjoy the weekend when I'm in so much pain? And this is part of it, and this is real, and stuff like this is really hard. Like, really hard. A flare-up is what people with a bowel disease say when their bowel disease is more prominent or worse, because most bowel diseases can be controlled by medication. However, you can still have flare-ups in this time, which means your symptoms are very heightened, you're going to the toilet more. It just makes life a lot difficult. Certain things trigger this. This is different for different people. We've noticed that my triggers are stress and anxiety, and if I have fizzy drinks. The previous clip that you just saw was a stress-induced flare-up, which carried out throughout the hen weekend, which led me to experience my first episode of fatigue. I didn't drink at all. I didn't go out late. I had a normal night's sleep. I ate really well, but just because we was doing stuff during the day, and obviously travelling gives me quite a lot of anxiety, I'm absolutely wiped out. Like, I'm in so much pain. So much pain with my tummy. So annoying because it's like, mentally I want to go out, I want to do stuff, but my body's just like, no. And it's so hard, because I've always been one of these people that just like gets on with everything, but I can't right now. I'm trying to not be one of those people that cries on YouTube and it's like, oh, poor me, but Mum just phoned the hospital and we just got to wait. It's like, I know we're so lucky to get free healthcare, like on the NHS, that we're so lucky, because obviously people that can't afford healthcare get it, but it's just the fact that I've got to wait, and there's nothing we can do about it, and it could be another 2 to 3 weeks I'm waiting. I've already been waiting like a month, after all the tests that I did before that, and it's just like, it's the longest. I just want to be better. Like, all I want is to be on the medication so I can live a normal life again. and I'm trying my hardest to be positive, but this is the most horrible situation. After a couple of weeks, probably I'd say like a week or so, the pain and fatigue subsided and my pooing went down from 8 to a couple times a day, which is very good. Still diarrhea, don't really have solid poos anymore, a lot of information again, but there was less blood and pus, so it means pooing wasn't as painful and it wasn't as much of a horrible experience. It was just something in my day-to-day life. Sorry, I just need to move my legs now. I love how as soon as I say joint pain, my joint seize up. I was now experiencing joint pain and bloating I've never even seen before. Like, it was ridiculous after I'd eat anything. This could be a full-blown meal or it could be a little snack. Note, while I'm just on the subject of food, there's certain foods that help if you're in a flare-up with UC, ulcerative colitis. So I changed my diet to strictly those foods, which helped massively. It reduced the amount I was pooing, reduced the pain when I wasn't in a flare-up. This next clip you're going to see is me. I think I just ate a normal meal. Nothing, it was literally like chicken, potatoes and some carrots. And this is how bloated I was after eating that meal. See it more here. Let's lift my top up. It's just very proper relax. It's normally like not even that big. Like, I'll insert some photos around here of the size of my stomach when I'm not bloated. I would say it's probably doubled in size, so yeah. A week or so later I got my appointment through. God knows how long I've been waiting for an appointment. My mum phoned the gastroenterology clinic many times and they said you're just going to have to wait. This is going to make me upset. I'd been in constant pain. I was tired constantly. I was just diarrheaing and pooing blood constantly. And I'd been told my appointment wasn't till September. This was at the end of April, I think. Luckily, my doctor's surgery are incredible and they argued the fact that I was an urgent case and managed to move the appointment to the end of August. And then I got a phone call from my mum crying, saying that they managed to fit me in for the 23rd of May and I was going to have my appointment with my new consultant and we'll get the ball rolling. And I cried, I was so happy. So after I got told that I had an appointment through for the 23rd of May, I had a couple of really good weeks. However, everything started to pile on and I didn't have a day off of anything and I become unbearably tired and fatigued again, physically and mentally, and I just felt like I couldn't cope. So after this little meltdown, a couple of days after, I got the flu, and I think that was kind of it was just all building up, and I think that was kind of the point where I could probably look at now if I get to the point of extreme fatigue and think I'm probably going to get ill in a couple of days. This triggered the biggest flare up, I think, just because a cold throws your body out of sync. And yeah, I wasn't going to the toilet anymore, but I was in agony. Was very tired, and during this time I had exams, which isn't great. It's not very helpful. And this was only a couple of weeks ago, and I think the stress of exams as well continued the flare up on for longer than it would have been. I've been having to take paracetamol and Buscopan regularly. I've even taken a codeine to try and deal with the pain. There is more blood when I am going to the toilet and more mucus. As it obviously hurts a lot more to pass. I've got exams next week.
and my birthday's next week, and I feel like I'm just going to be in agony for it. I'm supposed to be having a meal for my birthday next Friday, but if I'm in pain I'll just cancel it, because it's like, it hurts even to sit down and lay in bed, so...
Which leads us to my appointment, which was last Thursday. So my consultant is so lovely. He was talking to me about what I was experiencing. I spoke to him about how I haven't been having periods, and he said that was all linked. He was just very, very good. He said that some of the pains I'd experienced, because there's loads of different pains, weren't nothing to do with what's going on in my bowel or colon. So he said to me that he's going to do an MRI to check to make sure there's nothing in me that is causing me any pain, like gallstones and stuff like that. And he said I'm going to have a colonoscopy on the 12th of June, which obviously I'm not excited for, but I'm excited to get an end result. And he said to me, by the 20th of June, you'll know everything. I had 8 blood tests done just to check all my other organs and that everything was working. I don't really know. I'm not a doctor, I just trust in doctors, so go, whatever you need to do, you can do. So that's been part of the process of me being diagnosed. It's just what I've been going through for the past 4 months. It's been a hard 4 months, to say the least. I'm very grateful for any support I've been given, and my family are just so incredible. Like, I honestly don't know what I'd do without them. They've just been so understanding. And if you are experiencing any of the symptoms I was, and you're too scared to talk to anyone, if you have someone suffering with Crohn's or colitis and you don't really understand, or if you're suffering with it yourself and you're struggling to come to terms with it, I will link some help websites and the NHS website below, just stuff that helped me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've got someone in your life that's living with Crohn's or colitis, please be understanding of them. And it's really hard to be, because I wouldn't have been probably as understanding if I didn't have it or have lived through this. And thank you so much to anyone who shows support on this video or support to me in real life. Love you all lots.